Hello, everybody. I'm back at it again because there is more things to talk about. So, OhaiyoKaiyo, the person I talked about before, has made a comment on a separate event, but a lot of the things he says this time relates incredibly well to the things he said, or rather, to the things he has done recently. So I'm going to use his words against him to point them at him. So, let's get on the show. It's going to be a lot of interlacing videos with my input. So let's get started.
But yeah, this whole thing is so fucking stupid. So stupid. I can't comprehend that. I can't.
You're right. It is stupid. It is so goddamn stupid. But in the situation I'm going to be talking about today, the situation was caused by you, started by you, initiated by you. Now, I know I said the same thing 3 times, but it's worth repeating. It was all started by you. If you hadn't gone after Kirsha in the way that you did, you could have avoided a whole set of drama.
I don't know. It's so stupid. I can't even. It's so stupid. I just don't want people to take my words out of context, though, so.
It is funny that the man who didn't want to be taken out of context goes out of his way to not only bring any actual context to someone he decides he wants to put in his target, but actively disregards any actual context or any explanation as to why something happened. Instead, he just says, how should he know? He doesn't watch the person stream. Oh well, it's on you.
The point I'm trying to make here is that I don't want my words to be invalidated just because I do sex work. But clearly, this person had no sympathy to reach out to me or even read my entire tweet to try to understand the context of the situation before making this post about me. So because they had no sympathy, I won't either. So
it's rich that he talks about wanting sympathy when it's not sympathy he wanted. Well, I guess he wants sympathy. But the problem here isn't a lack of sympathy on the person that went after him. It's a lack of good faith. Because a bad faith interpretation of a set of words, or at least a negative inference on the set of words that led to this person reacting to him, is what caused the reaction, not a lack of sympathy, but rather a negative connotation or faith. So, get your words right, buddy. But really, it is rich that he's talking about a lack of sympathy or, in the actuality, a lack of good faith when, not more than 4 days ago, he engaged in this kind of activity.
like, okay, I understand what they're trying to say. It is awful to make fun of people's IRL jobs when they're just trying to live. But that's not what I was saying, obviously.
That's not what I was saying, obviously, he says after lying about what someone said before who was obviously not saying what he said they said. Because apparently saying chat may have been right about something is indicative of spreading lies deliberately. But that was not what she was saying, obviously, was it, Kaiyo?
By saying, I like how this person purposefully excluded the part where I was talking about people making fun of the fact that I do sex work. This capitalist society we live in.
I wanted to leave the capitalism bit in. It just felt so proper. It felt like it was just something that he would say. And of course it's something he would say. This capitalist society. It's corporatism right now, buddy. You don't even know what proper capitalism feels like.
If all you got from my tweet was that I like to make fun of people with 9-to-5 jobs, you have such surface level thinking. Like, please try to develop some critical thinking skills if that's all you got from my tweet.
I would say that this guy also did this surface level reading thing, but it's actually much worse on his part because he didn't even read on the surface level. He just lacks critical thinking. He's just outright stupid. Because whenever he went after someone for saying that chat may have been right, he didn't even acknowledge the fact that Kirsha said chat may have been right. He only said that she was spreading lies because she was taking in the idea that maybe Kamala was using audio earrings. You know, it's a conspiracy, but conspiracies have a level of speculation, untruth, or some level of basis in truth. You should practice what you preach. Actually, you should do more than that. You should learn to take a surface level reading, buddy.
And like purposely leaving out the context of the first post. The first post is just so malicious. So clearly malicious to do that.
Well, not one for one in the exactness of their situation when Kayo replied, or rather, screen capped Kirsha's tweet. He didn't take into effect that there was a further context to what she was saying, or rather another event that precluded that tweet. In fact, he took it out of context and ran with it. And whenever it was brought up, of course, he said, I don't have time to devote to watching your streams, rather than just apologizing for being wrong and lying about what was said to his audience. Now he just says, no, fuck you.
And I was also shocked because I was just waking up, I was eating food, and then like I go on Twitter, and then this is what I see. And it's just like someone completely taking my words out of context and making fun of me. But it's so weird to just twist my words and make a tweet about it, and they even follow me. Like,
it doesn't feel too good having your words taken out of context and twisted, does it?
Develop some critical thinking skills. I don't know what to say. And obviously, I don't want you guys to go sending them hate, which is like such a cringe thing to say after I'm clearly blasting them on stream. But the reason I'm blasting them on stream is because they fucking blasted me first. Anyone that knows me at all knows I always have good intentions, unless the other person wants to start something first.
So tell me, Kayo, at what point in this interaction, this engagement that you started, did Kirsha come after you first? Where was the good intentions here? What could possibly have been good about your intentions when you lied about what Kirsha said?
And I think that's completely valid to do, especially in this situation where everything is just fucking twisted to a whole new meaning of what it was supposed to be.
You hear that, ladies and gentlemen? He doesn't like having his words taken out of context. He doesn't like people changing the meaning of what he's saying. He doesn't like it when you misinterpret him. Man, I just wonder, why wouldn't he have done the same for Kirsha? It's not that hard. You could just not say anything about a person.
I can see where the person's coming from, but I hope you'll proceed with more caution in the future. What caution is there to... What? None of this is my fault. What caution is there to see? Like, this is not my fault. They completely twisted my words. You can't say that. I didn't say anything wrong.
You'll probably notice at this point a repetition of similar sorts of screen grabs being overlaid. That is not on accident. It's just how much he complains about the same thing he did to someone else. And it never seems to dawn on him that's what he did. It's just, woe is me, woe is me. I was taken out of context. No remorse and no sympathy, as he says. So it will be a little redundant, the amount of times I just overlay the same screen grabs, but it is to hammer in and beat in the point. Yes, this is what he did, and this is in this exact sort of tone. If he feels this way when it happens to him, why is he doing it to other people?
Being the bigger person, I am being a bigger person. The bigger person by explaining myself after they completely twisted my words. Like, I'm simply defending myself. What do you want me to do? Is just sit there and let them lie? That's absolutely stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. What do I have to be cautious about when all I'm doing is defending myself? Be fucking for real. You don't know what you're talking about. They're the ones that changed my words. I didn't fucking say anything wrong. Don't piss me off. I'm already pissed off.
It's worth mentioning, Mr. Blaster, you could have just apologized for lying about what Kirsha said or misconstruing it. You didn't need to keep up the act here. You could have just said, hey, sorry, I didn't know the full context. I disagree with you. You're pushing of a theory or indulging it, but, you know, my bad. Mea culpa. But no, you decided, why do I have to watch your streams to get the full context? I don't have time for that. You had every opportunity to say, nah, I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Why would I want to be the bigger person when the other person clearly had no sympathy for me? I don't know. Anyway, if being the bigger person means I have to sit here and let this Twitter mob hate on me, then I will never be the bigger person. Ever. Never, ever. You guys don't know what it's like to deal with Twitter hate mobs. Honestly, it's like overwhelming. I get over it quickly, but if it's the first thing you see is a bunch of people talking shit about you, it's really shocking. And it's like, I don't know. It's just really shocking to see how someone can change the narrative like that and have a whole crowd just believe them, you know? I hope everything I said was concise and clear and you guys were able to understand everything that I was saying. It's hard to speak coherently, properly when, you know, my heart is beating at 150 beats per minute, but I hope you guys understood my words and I made a good point and got my point across. It's so easy to share a 140 character hot take on Twitter without consideration for it being public and lacking context. It is. Oh, thank you, Ronan.
It must be super easy to complain about a no context in a 140 character limit when you yourself have engaged in that very conduct. Mind you, this all started because you did the very thing against Kirsha. And while it's not exactly 140 words that you reply to, you could have easily found the context or inferred the context from the tweet. It's not like it was completely devoid, you just erased it from what you were replying to. It's not very good to complain about something when you do the very thing you're complaining about.
Yeah, also, I'm in a VTuber group, the Jelly Dogs. 2 of them literally work real full-time jobs. My best friends work these jobs. Like,
it's not entirely on point, but it is very funny to see the increase in the I have a black friend equivalency to a defense in arguments, especially when the I have a black friend argument would be dismissed as a lackluster defense. But you see, it's being employed by Kaiyo. He hasn't utilized it against anybody, but I feel like it would be pretty annoying for him to realize he is doing effectively that. So I'm just bringing it to light.
it was bizarre to see how out of context they took you. Yeah, it is, Bug. And end scene.